I found a tank that even Wargaming wasn't willing to add to World of Tanks, and it is a tank I need to see in Steel Aces. And the best part about it, it's a completely real tank, so why wouldn't Steel Aces add it? And it is just one of 5 tanks that I am going to tell you about in this video that I desperately want added into Steel Aces. Alright, number 5 on my list of top 5 tanks I would love to see in Steel Aces, I have the Super Pershing. Simply because it was just the first premium tank I ever purchased in World of Tanks, and it's just like, a good classic tank for me. But I don't know, you might be someone who just doesn't care about the Super Pershing and don't agree with this choice at all. Number 4, I have to go with the T-71DA, as it's called in World of Tanks. What I should say is the T-71 project proposal by the Detroit Arsenal, because there were a few different prototypes designed for the T-71 project. The T-71 DA by the Detroit Arsenal, the T-71 CMCD as World of Tanks calls it, and then also the T-92 light tank was also designed for this project. But the only one of these proposals that I only really care about adding to Steel Aces is the T-71 by the Detroit Arsenal, just because I love its autoloader. The best kind of light tank you're ever gonna find is one with an autoloader, because you can just run up to someone super suddenly, dump a clip onto them, and run away before they even have time to react. This is pretty much all I've been doing in World of Tanks recently, just playing my T-71DA over and over and over. Number 3 that I would love to see added to the game, I don't really care which, but either the FV-4005 or the FV-215, because they're pretty much very similar vehicles. It's really only the gun I care about. And I'm not talking about the FV-215B from World of Tanks, which is a completely made-up wargaming vehicle, where it's the FV-215 hull with a Conqueror turret and a 122mm gun. It's really stupid, and I don't care about it. I just want, like, the Death Star, the 183mm Hesh cannon. That is one thing I really, really would love to see in Steel Aces. Number 2 on my list is a tank that I don't think is very likely will get added, just because it might be a little bit difficult to balance. But obviously I'm not a developer, so I'm not sure. Um, but I would still love to see the Churchill AVRE. As you can see here, the Churchill AVRE is a Churchill mounted with a 230mm cannon. I guess, well, it's not really a cannon. It's designed just to destroy bunkers and fortifications, but wasn't really effective against vehicles. So if this were placed at like rank 5, it would just hit things with an HE shell, which would probably have like huge alpha damage, probably around like at least 1,000 alpha damage at rank 5, which is more than enough to destroy rank 5 tanks. But it would be very, very, very unlikely to penetrate, because it was not intended for anti-tank combat. It has really horrible penetration. So you'd hit things and just like splash them for like 500 to 700 damage, which is still a ridiculous amount of damage, especially at rank 5. And then, of course, the reload would be very, very, very painfully long. But at least you would get to hit people for ridiculous amounts of damage, and it would be incredibly fun to hit, but also probably really painful to play, because it would be an incredibly slow tank, incredibly slow turret traverse speeds, even slower shell velocity, with horrible gun range. So you'd need to get pretty much right up in front of someone to be able to damage them. And they would also probably be horribly inaccurate. But when you hit with this thing, it would be so, so fun. But in position number 1, the tank I most want added to the game, the T-58 heavy tank. I mentioned this tank a little bit on the Steel Aces Discord server before making this video, and at least there are some people who agree with me that this tank should be added into the game, and still love this guy, by the way. And as you can see that I'm saying here in this screenshot, It's like a T-57 heavy tank from World of Tanks, except it has a clip size of 6 instead of 4 like the T-57 has, and it has a 155 millimeter gun instead of a 120 millimeter gun like the T-57 has. It would be a very interesting tank to play. And as you can see here, it would likely do 4,500 damage in a clip in World of Tanks. It would likely it should be able to have a clip potential that is enough to kill any tank at its rank in the game, and maybe even a rank higher too. So that I'm not sure what rank it would be. It would probably be rank 10 or above if they could balance it with the modern tanks. But it probably wouldn't have very effective armor. The armor would be trollish. But if you accidentally poke it, if you're not spotted, someone pokes, you just get a bunch of free damage. It would have, again, like the last tank, a painfully long reload. Anyways, this is a tank that I feel like I would really love to play, and I would just really love this tank to be added to the game, but I don't know how easy it's going to be to balance, just like the Churchill. All these tanks I really want to see added to the game, and I'm sure most of them will be. Feel free to drop your top 5 tanks down in the comments, because I would really love to see your guys' opinions on this, because, I don't know, we gotta do something while we wait for the game to release. Subscribe.